Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 2, Villareal 1. I mean, I'm tempted to say how, and I'm tempted to say why do I feel a little bit sorry for Villareal. As a Manchester United fan, that should not be in the vocabulary. But look, I've got so much to say that isn't actually a positive. But links in the video description, player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We won't go straight into that. We will do that in a moment. But look, I tell you what it is. To me, it's an experiment in how you can still win games with crap coaching if you've got world stars. And I said this at the start of the season. Some people were saying I don't think Ollie's a very good coach. I don't think we're gonna have a good season. And I said I think it's impossible to get knocked out of the group stage, and it's impossible not to finish in the top 4. And the reason for that is David De Gea's world class, Varane is world class, Ronaldo is world class, and then Pogba, Bruno sort of knocking on the door of that with Cavani. There's too many. Greenwood's a fantastic player. Rashford's coming back. We've got too many players that fit into the Ollie way of moments. We're Moments FC. That's what we are. We literally are. We've won that game with moments. I mean, it's almost hilarious that we've been talking about this since the Villa game. That the style of play is abysmal, but we grind results out. The grind is moments. Like the grind is at both ends. David De Gea, we should be 2-0 down at half time. David De Gea's world class. Cristiano Ronaldo and Telles score us 2 fantastic goals. We win 2-1. It's moments. It's world-class individualism against hoofball. Our tactics today were hoofball. Like the amount of long balls we played. It was awful football, and yet you've beaten a very good footballing side. And I suppose the question is, we're sat here really happy that we've won with a great chance of going through the group now. Would you rather lose that game to maybe put pressure on a manager that's not going to be sacked, or would you rather win? I always want Manchester United to win. I'm happy that we've won, but I can't escape from the fact that also we are a dreadful footballing side with a dreadful coach. And, he's celebrating and getting hugs on the touchline, and I don't blame him. Mike Phelan, Carrick, they're all there. They're all really happy, but you've done next to nothing to contribute to that result, apart from pick the team, because the tactics were awful. It's like I said at the end of the watch-along, if you want an analogy, the way Solskjaer and his tactics and his coaching team work, they're like millionaires who've won the lottery. They've done nothing to do it. And they're like, yes, I'm rich. I'm absolutely rich and I don't know how I'm here. Whereas some millionaires work their arse off to get there. And I think the Klopps and the Peps and the Tuchels, they've worked their way to get where they are. Whereas Ollie and Carrick and all them lot, they've just won the lottery, and they celebrate results like that because it's like, yes, we're going to stay in a job. But the tactics was shit. But we've won. We've won the game, and I feel so bad to be talking about it like that. The players are all hugging on the pitch at the end. It's great to see that unity and fight. But I'm telling you, that's one of the worst games I've watched United play in a long time. It was dreadful. I'm really struggling to see why. Look, individual players. You talk about individual players that won us the game. David De Gea, Bruno Fernandes and Telles, Ronaldo. Cavani was brilliant when he came on as well. Thought Matic was good when he came on. They're positive individual performances. Poor individual performances, and they both played 90 minutes. Delot, McTominay was a passenger in the first half. He didn't get much better in the second half. How he's staying on the pitch over Paul Pogba, I'll never know. It was almost like, how bad can we play but still win this game with world-class players? And we did it. Moments FC. We desperately needed that result. I do not want to be in the Europa League. I don't want to run the experiment of how... let's see how crap we can be and lose games before we get sacked. I genuinely don't think Solskjaer sacking is going to happen. I think he will still be the manager this time next year. I genuinely don't think he's ever going to play good football. I don't think he knows how to. I mean, if you watch that game back against Villareal today, and look, Gordon makes a good point. He says, I'm struggling to be happy with that. Winning is good, but we're not going to win anything playing this way. Mate, how many times are we going to win games like that, really? I mean, you play that game 10 times, we probably win it twice, if we're lucky. If you watch that game, that was not a game of football that we should have won. But we did, and we must celebrate that. But how many more times is this going to happen? You know, every game we go into, it's, you know, moments FC, fine margins FC. We're never going to play good football under Ollie, I'm afraid. You know, I hope to be wrong on that, but we're never going to play good football under Ollie, because that first 45 minutes was absolutely appalling. He changed nothing at half time, and then we went 1-0 down. You know, we were hitting long balls with Sancho, Greenwood, Pogba, Bruno and Ronaldo. And you're hitting long balls. Scott McTominay's hiding as the number 6. He doesn't... You know the best thing for me? He brings Matic on with 15 minutes to go. The first thing Matic does is drop in between the centre-backs and take the ball. For 70 minutes, McTominay's the number 6 and he's hiding in the midfield. He wouldn't drop. So that's an individual player. He can't play 6. And yet he played him as a 6 over Matic. I don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand why we're playing long ball. We've watched a game of football tonight and we've won a game of football tonight, and we should all be happy. There shouldn't be any United fan who's not happy with that. But I tell you what, if you know anything about football, it's what Gary Neville said on Monday night. It's what we've been saying on this channel for quite a while. It's just pure individualism that's winning us games, not trophies. Winning us games. Ronaldo, Tellez and De Gea tonight have won us a game of football. Not, you know, despite... we're winning games despite. And you know what? Somebody said as well, I think what happens is we have a game plan. We go 1-0 down and the players sort of like go, fuck the game plan, let's start passing. You know, as soon as we go 1-0 down in a game, we play completely different. And it's like the players just go, sod these tactics, we're going to play a different way. Because I did feel like we were going to win the game. I felt that we would win the game as soon as Tellez scored, because I felt like... Well, no, even before Tellez scored, I think when we go 1-0 down in a game, we become a different team. But when we're not 1-0 down, we're a dreadful team. But look, at the end of the day, winning that game was absolutely essential. You know, David De Gea was super, absolutely fantastic. But there's some things I want to bring into the game. The first thing I want to say is that Matic in 15 minutes showed you how you play as a number 6. Capoue showed you how to play as a number 6. McTominay was dreadful as a number 6. I don't think he's a number 6. I think Scott McTominay has played a few good games for United, but it's always been as a number 8. He is not a number 6. He clearly doesn't know the role. We've had Fred come out and say he's trying to learn the role. Neither Fred or McTominay can play that role. And I thought one of the sad things from the game today was when he brought Fred and Lingard on. And if you see it, go back and clip it. It'll be all over the Twitter at some point. Donny van der Beek is on the front row. He takes his chewing gum down and he throws it down next to Mike Phelan. And I think it's just really sad that, you know, we've won the game. We've won the game. But I do want to say this. Donny van der Beek was man of the match a week ago in the midfield. We've played 2 games. We've played shit in both of them. And he's not had 1 minute. It makes me want to cry inside. It's just appalling coaching again. He was man of the match last week. He was coming deep. He was passing the ball. He was tackling. He was fit. He's not had a minute of competitive football. I absolutely stand with Donny van der Beek throwing that chewing gum on the floor. I can only understand it. He's not a robot. He's a human being. And he must be sat there thinking, what the hell have I got to do to get a minute in this team? Every time I play well. I was man of the match last week and I've not had a minute since. And yet Scott McTominay is running around for 90 minutes in my position, invisible, and I can't get on the pitch. So I just wanted to bring that in because I felt for Donny when he did that. And some will say it's petulance and some will say he shouldn't be doing that. But I think it's just a sign that he's human and his career has been destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. But the substitution of Cavani was fantastic. I think Cavani showed his quality. You know what? Cavani should have scored. Remember the header? He should have scored. And, you know, Lingard nearly scored on the front post. And Ronaldo actually had a bad game today. I know he's playing in a bad system, but even when we started to play well in the last 20 minutes, Ronaldo wasn't having a good game. But there it is again. This is why you can't sub Ronaldo. Last kick of the 6th minute of stoppage time, Ronaldo's there to win you the game. That's why you can't sub him. What was more important, Pogba not on the pitch or Matic on the pitch, says Casper. I would have took McTominay off and kept Pogba on. We're trying to win a game. We've won the game in the end, but, you know, as I said, how many times do you win that game if you play that 10 times? Probably that once, maybe twice. What do you want, a lucky manager or an unlucky one? Looking forward to Liverpool, first match in 7 years, going to Old Trafford. Greetings from Norway, says Andreas Hansen. I want a manager who plays good football, mate. I don't believe in rabbit's foots and, you know, whatever else lucky charms you want to talk about. I want a manager that plays good football, and I don't think that's too hard to ask. Potter does it at Brighton. Plenty of coaches does it. I tell you what, I'm ecstatic with the result, and we should all be ecstatic with the result. And don't ever moan about Manchester United winning a game. The players, hugging at the end, I love to see that. But I'm not going to sit here and say that the football was good. It was one of the worst performances I've seen from United in a long time, especially that 45 minutes. And the scariest thing was, it wasn't players again. It was the same as Villa. It's the coaching. It's absolutely abysmal. Long ball at Old Trafford for 70 minutes. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But we've won the game. And look, I think what's becoming clear to me now is, and people say, oh, why aren't you Ollie out? Why aren't you Ollie out? And I'm like, well, we've got 4 points in the Champions League. We'll go through. We're 1 point off the top. Like, I don't necessarily think we're going to have... I know some people are staunch Ollie outers, but I disagree with you. I don't think we're going to have this run of results that are going to cause him to be sacked, because we've just played absolutely terrible and we've won. Why did we win? We've got a world-class goalkeeper. A left-back scored a world-class goal and Ronaldo's world-class. We've still won a game of football when we've absolutely been terrible. How are you going to have a bad run of results? We're not going to have a bad run of results. We're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep being Moments FC. That's what we're going to keep doing. There is no end to this. So you've just got to get used to it and almost celebrate it, but almost laugh at it and go, it must absolutely destroy... Well, it must destroy people who are Ollie out, but it must destroy our rivals. I mean, imagine Arsenal. They're not even in Europe. They'll be watching that and going, how the bloody hell have they won that? Villareal have played them off the parch and they've won it. It's funny. I think it's actually funny. And as I said, in a weird way, it's almost an experiment about how bad your coaching can be, but world-class players will still win you a game of football. I genuinely think some of you could have sat on the touchline today and managed that game better. And I'm being serious. I really thought I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say that everything I spoke about during the watch-along isn't true just because we've won it late at the end. It was appalling. Absolutely appalling. If we played like Villareal played with the players we've got, we should have won that 5 or 6-0. We should be beating teams 5 or 6-0. Some people will just want to celebrate the win, and I get that. But with those players, we should be winning games 5 or 6-0 every now and again. And we're nowhere near it. We're nowhere near it. We're quite literally winning by generating a couple of random moments of brilliance. The only word for Ollie is lucky. Lucky to have such a team. I'm not Ollie out, but with this kind of luck, Ollie should go to Vegas' his path. He is a lucky manager. He's lucky to have the players that he's got. You're right. Game changed when Matic came on. We desperately need a DM that can control the midfield. It's imperative. I agree with that, John. With the quality of players in the squad and the ability to nick results with poor tactics, imagine how good the team would be with competent coaches. Exactly, Harry. Exactly. The fact we won't have that run of results to sack Ollie makes it worse. How can you not see that? Surely you care about United's future. I don't own United, fisticuffs. I don't own United. I got asked a question today. What if you were the owner of United, what 3 things would you do? The 3 things I would do is I would stop paying dividends to myself and I would clear the debt. The second thing I would do is I would rebuild Old Trafford because it needs it needs a lot of structure. And the third most important thing I would do is I'd call Ollie and the coaches into my office tomorrow morning and I would say, you've got till Christmas to get us playing good football because I'm not having this grinding results out playing like that. Well, Manchester United have spent a lot of money on you. It's not just about grinding results. You've got to play the right way. And the way we're playing is bloody abysmal. But unfortunately, we've got owners who will just go, well done, we've won. It's a results business. And they'll just see top 4 in money. Some people will say, oh, why are you moaning? It's about winning. That is your prerogative. That is your choice. If you want that, that's fine. But why did you moan about Mourinho? Mourinho was winning and everyone moaned. So, I've got to stay true to my principles. I want to see Manchester United play the United way. I've always been very proud of the way we play football. I'm not proud of what we did tonight. I'm proud of the result, but I'm not proud about the way we played. We're not playing good football. But some people will like that, and I respect that. It's not about... As I said, we dream the same dream. We want the same thing. We all want United to win trophies. Some people are happy to do it like that. Some people want it to be the other way. And that's why some people don't believe in the coaches. Some people do. And some people are very frustrated. I'm not falling out with United fans. We've won. That's the most important thing. But there's definitely, I think we can all concede, there's definitely conversations to be had about how we played again. Because it was a hard watch. There wasn't much to enjoy in that game apart from that last minute. In hindsight, Fred's sub worked. He crossed into Ronaldo, who brought it down and did a 1-2 with Lingard. It wasn't a 1-2 Milan. It wasn't a tactical sub. Tellez was injured. Manos, but it was a good cross. Thanks for the super chat. Mark, this feels like Palace under Mourinho when he came back. I don't think Ollie will last much longer. We're awful, says Thomas T. It could be the kickstart, though. It could be the fire start, you know. Should the front six that finished the game be our front six going forward, says Alan Burns. No. What? Cavani, Lingard and Ronaldo? And Matic, McTominay and Bruno? Fuck no. God, no. God, I don't even know why Pogba came off, and I don't know why McTominay stayed on. I thought he was a passenger, but we won the game, so you can't moan too much. We're becoming accepting on winning with bad performances. We could dominate Europe. This is still just isn't simply good enough. We need a new board, says Click. Okay, we're going to do the player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I mean, one thing I did just want to bring in, and it perfectly goes into the player ratings, actually. Please smash a like on the video, by the way, and make sure you subscribe. We're very close to 148,000. But I really wanted to say this. You can talk about Ronaldo, and Ronaldo's won us the game. But who wins you the game? The man who wins at you at the end, or the man who wins at you in the first half? Because we could have been 2, maybe 3-0 down, and David De Gea kept it at 0-0 at half-time. We weren't even losing at half-time. So what I want to say is this. If we didn't have De Gea in goal this season, and we had Henderson in goal, or Heaton in goal, or, you know, a good keeper instead of a world-class keeper, where would we be without De Gea? We'd be on no points in the Champions League, and we'd probably have, I think, about 5 points less in the league. A decent start to the season would be a very poor start to the season without De Gea. And that's nothing to do with the performance today. It's nothing to do with anything. I just think it's very important to remember that without De Gea, we'd have no points after 2 games, and we'd have about maybe 9, 8 points in the league. I think De Gea's probably won us about 5 points, hasn't he? So 8 points. I'm just putting respect on De Gea's name. I just think he's, you know, let's not forget, if Ollie didn't have De Gea, and remember, Ollie was thinking about playing Henderson. I think Henderson's a good goalkeeper, but I don't think he could get anywhere near the levels De Gea has been this season. And it's the leadership as well. At the end of the game, De Gea's pulling everybody in, saying, come on. He's shouting at people. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, David De Gea. Zane's mum forgot to load his debit card, says Carnin. And David, man of the match, says Ben. And Ollie doesn't play the United way. He wasn't in 12 months yet. You don't want him out. Doesn't make sense. Is that Japan? We just won the game, mate. I really don't think Ollie out should be trending or being even discussed. We've just won a game of football. I think he can be Ollie frustrated. But, you know, I can see him on my TV screen now. He's over the moon. He's almost got tears in his eye. Tears in his eyes. He's getting away with it. He's getting away with it, and he's living the dream. He's won the lottery. You know, can you feel bad for a guy like that? He's living the dream. He is not on right here, right now. And look, in 3 months' time, we might revisit and say, wow. But right here and right now, he's getting away with it. You know he is. You can see it in his eyes. He's over the moon. He's ecstatic. He'll talk about his decisions. He'll talk about, you know, the tactics and everything like that. It's got sod all to do with him tonight. It's David De Gea, Tellez and Ronaldo. It's Moments FC. Let's do the player ratings anyway. Was there anything else I wanted to bring in? One down reaction. Yeah, one down reaction. You go one down and we react. How many times does that happen? Anyway, player ratings. Let's do those. So, David De Gea for me was an 8. 8.8. Bloody hell. Was my man of the match. 8.8. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it like that. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think people would go higher than an 8. All right. Yeah, I thought De Gea was magnificent tonight. So I'm very happy to go low. 8.8. He was world class. Absolutely world class again. The low 4. I don't think he played very well at all. He was the weak link in the team. But you know what? He's rusty. He's going to be rusty. He's not played a lot of football. Defensively, he's always been a bit suspect. He didn't get forward well. I'm not going to lie. Delo was a 4 for me today. Lindelof, probably a 5. Lindelof. Too many long balls. I think he looked suspect when they attacked. I mean, defensively, we looked suspect. I mean, it's going to happen. You haven't got Wan-Bissaka. You haven't got Maguire. You haven't got Luke Shaw. They looked a bit nervous. They looked a bit suspect. Even Varane made a mistake, to be honest with you. So, yeah, Lindelof was probably a 5. Way too many long balls, and they weren't good long balls. Varane, probably his worst performance in a United shirt, but I'd give him a 6. I thought, even in his worst performance, he showed massive amounts of quality. There was a little slip in the first half that could have led to a goal. It wasn't his best game, but God, we needed his leadership and we needed his ability today. So I'd give him an average 6. And Tellez, you've got to give him a 7. You've got to give him a 7. Forget his performance. The goal was just... It just reminded me of Robben in the Champions League by Munich that time. Absolutely fantastic goal from Tellez, and it gave us that. I think if we hadn't scored a goal like that, I think we were going to struggle. We needed that sort of instant reply. What minute did Tellez score in? Let's say it was I don't know, the 60th minute. I don't even remember what minute he scored in. The 60th minute maybe. For an hour, Villareal had played us off the park, and that one world-class goal just was an injection into the stadium that gave us that belief that we could go and win it, and we did. McTominay for me was a 4. I thought he was dreadful in the number 6 role. I felt sorry for him. He didn't know what to do. I've said this many times before. A lot of people have said Scott McTominay and Pogba's our best midfield too. I think we've seen again that it's not, or it needs a hell of a lot of work. He doesn't know how to play the number 6 role. It's not his fault. He's a number 8. He's a box-to-box player. He doesn't know how to play a 6. Matic comes on, straight away drops 10 yards in between the centre-backs and takes the ball. For an hour, especially the first half, McTominay's just drifting between the Villareal players out of the game, invisible. He's not a number 6. He's always going to give you energy, he's always going to give you desire, and he's always going to give you trust. But, he's not a British gas worker, he's a Man United footballer, and third game in a row, I think McTominay's been below average. Now, I know he's only coming back from injury and we're asking him tonight to do a job that's not his. But we're Manchester United, and I think if you spoke to a Roy Keane or a Paul Ince or a Brian Robson, would they say that that sort of performance is acceptable in a Manchester United shirt? Okay. You could get 10 players from the mid-table to the bottom part of the Premier League to come in and do that job. I just thought it was below average, to be honest with you, in a position he doesn't know how to play. Pogba today... To be honest with you, I'd probably give Paul Pogba a 5. I'm not messing around. If you give him McTominay a 4, I can't give Pogba anything higher than a 5. It didn't work. That midfield 2 didn't work. But more importantly, Pogba was a passenger in that game because we just, we didn't defend well and he never got the ball. So, no, not a good performance from Pogba. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to give Bruno a 5. I love Bruno Fernandes, but I'm going to give him a 5 because what did Bruno Fernandes do in that game? Yeah, passion, energy, desire. Well, this should be a standard. The assist on the goal was brilliant, but you know what? He's another player who's a victim of a poor system. Pogba, 5. Bruno, I've given him a 5. Greenwood, I'm going to give him a 5. Sancho, I'm going to give him a 5. That's 4 players getting a 5. They're all brilliant players. Pogba's brilliant. Bruno's brilliant. Greenwood's brilliant. Generational talent. Sancho's brilliant. None of them had a good game. Why didn't they have a good game? Was it their fault? Did they all just think, sod it, I'm going to play crap tonight? They didn't play well because they're playing in a system that doesn't suit them. We spent £74 million on Jadon Sancho, who is a ball receiver. He's not fast. He's give and go. He's skipped past somebody. What are we doing? Knocking the ball over his head. He may as well be stargazing. He's like this. Oh, another shooting star. Oh, no, it's the ball. What am I supposed to do with that? I can't get after it. I'm not quick. What do you want me to do with that? 4 players who are all ballers didn't play well because we didn't pass the ball through the lines until the last 15 minutes. By which time, 3 of them had been subbed. You start playing through the lines and you take 3 of them off. So, I love Sancho, I love Greenwood, I love Pogba, I love Bruno as footballers. But none of them played well tonight because they weren't allowed to play well because the system we played didn't suit them. And look, I'd love to sit down and have a tactical discussion with anybody about this because I would stand by this. One of the worst hours of football I've seen at Old Trafford in a long time. I thought I was watching Tony Pulis. It was long ball and those poor lads just weren't in the game. Ronaldo, for me, look, he's shown what he's all about. You've got to give him at least a 7. I would have given Ronaldo a 5. He gets a boost for winning the game. But that's Ronaldo. I actually thought Ronaldo had a bad game. Even he stayed on for the last 15 minutes. His passing wasn't great. He could have slipped Greenwood in the first half, and to be honest with you, if that had been Fred or McTominay or anybody else, I would have said that's unbelievable. So Ronaldo did miss a chance to slip Greenwood in. I don't think Ronaldo had his best game, but then Ronaldo did what Ronaldo does. You can't sub Ronaldo. He's too fit and he can score goals. Did it for Portugal against Ireland a few weeks ago, and he's done it tonight. This is why you can't sub Ronaldo. Just a genius footballer. Matic gets a 7 for me. I know he was only on for 15 minutes, but he changed the game. We played with no CDM until he came on, and he changed the game. Like, I don't know why we're not starting Matic. I've said this so many times. The frustrating thing with Ollie is, and one of the reasons I'm not Ollie out actually, is because there's been 3 stages of good play at Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. When he first came into the club, Matic, Herrera, Pogba. Just before COVID, he had Matic and Fred, and it worked. After COVID, he went Matic, Pogba and Bruno, and it worked. The 3 best periods of play we've had under Ollie, and he's always used Matic. He doesn't use Matic anymore, and we don't play good football. I don't know why he won't pick Matic. Like, Matic should be starting games. And if he can't start games, why is he here? If he's not fit enough to do it, why is he here? He must be fit enough to do it. So I don't know why we don't play Matic. Cavani was a 7 as well. I thought he, absolutely... the thing I love about Cavani is, and I think Levin mentioned this in the week, nobody presses like Cavani. Nobody works as hard as Cavani. I love having Ronaldo at this football club, but nobody does what he does. Like, nobody gets even close. And maybe not even in world football. His determination and running and pressing is so impressive. Fred, probably give him a 6. He very rarely gets that. Lingard can have a 6 as well. Ollie, we've just won a game of football in the Champions League. I'm not heartless. I'm not going to give him a terrible score. It was, I can only applaud it. The experiment of how bad you can play and still win a game of football, he's the master of it. So I'm going to give him a 6 because we did win. I can't give him a low score, even though the football was terrible. Man of the match, it's going to be De Gea, 88% of the vote. Let me have a quick look. So Ronaldo got 9%, and then, obviously that only leaves 3%. So various others, it says. But, just domination, absolute domination from David De Gea. He is absolutely world class. No system and no patterns of play, says Marcus. Have to say I'm ashamed of some of the clear bias in player ratings as voted for by the community. Fair that people don't like someone, but at least be honest about match ratings and leave your bias behind. But Mr. Glenn Johnson, I appreciate that chat, but who are you talking about? Where is the bias? I don't know who we're being biased about. Who we're being biased about then? So obviously Ollie's not a player. Fred 6. Subs all got good scores. Ronaldo got a 7 for scoring. Sancho, Pogba, Greenwood, Bruno 5s because they just couldn't get in the game. McTominay a 4 because he was dreadful. Telles, worldy. Varane 6, 5 for Lindelof, 4 for Delo, and 8. I don't see the bias there. I think effectively you've had 11,000 people voting. I think it's what you call democracy, mate. Surely that's what it is. But look, it's all about opinion. It's all about some United fans will be over the moon. They won't see a problem with that. We've won the game. Some people don't care about how we play. They just want to win. I used to be like that when I was a kid and I didn't analyse football. It was just about winning. So, some people will be very, very happy about that. But let's get on to the fan forum. We're going to see what Levin and everyone else has got to say. We've also got fan vlogs coming in as well. Let's raid with Dave Saves, because Dave was the man. I'll speak to you on the fan forum. Thanks for watching.